Failure, and this is ARK, Survival Evolved. Flying solo today. I thought I'd give you a quick base tour and an update of the project so far. So what you're looking at here is one end of what will be the Colosseum complex. This is, it's, I say done, but there's endless tinkering to do to bring it up to scratch. But let's have a quick look around. So we've been here before, but never just you and I. So back here we have random dinosaur storage. Now, once upon a time there were quite a... Still not left his door open. So once upon a time there were quite a few dinosaurs roaming back here that had all been tamed by my associate Fourleaf, and through one reason or another they managed to get themselves killed. I think one I took out and it got a little aggressive and got murdered by a Brontosaurus. That was the end of the Triceratops. My pterodon, that starved to death. So yeah, not brilliantly effective, if I'm honest. But then I'm not here for the dinosaurs. I'm here to build stuff, and this is evidence of what I've been up to so far. No, the alignment on these gates isn't perfect, and that annoys me. But they're so expensive. It's actually pretty tough to tell when you've got them in the right place or not. So we treat them as satisfactory for the moment. I will probably revisit quite a lot of this, because this kind of flat facade, as much as the walls are all nicely bump mapped and what have you, and there's definite texture in there, it's lacking personality, it's lacking definition. It is effectively just a blank concrete wall. If we look out the front, as much as you can see while it's nighttime, sticking a balcony in there once in a while and a ladder along the outside and a couple of extra bits and pieces here and there, it breaks it up enough so that it actually looks more interesting, and that's what I'm aiming for. But enough of this exterior shot stuff. While it's still nighttime, I thought I'd take you around the inside. So this was where I was based out of originally, my original workshop, and it's since become the generator room, with lots of temporary storage options for people who can't be bothered carrying their stuff all the way that it has to go. The generator was a fantastic investment, is the word I'm after, simply because this gasoline, which fuels it and powers all of the electrical stuff we have in the base, yes, let's sound mighty about it. It really does last for ages, so quite pleased with that. The main area where I've got work to do actually is on ramps and making them look better. So because they are, as you can see, one walks up, one walks down. Because they are so much more user friendly than ladders, I want to get them looking nice. So I'll put a bit of rectangular wall in there and another bit in there to kind of seal it up. The other thing that this interior kind of jiggery-pokery leads to is situations where you have incorrect facings of textures. By which, if you look at this stone wall, that is an exterior view. That is the interior view, right? It makes it look like you've got an inside and an outside, and it's a matter of getting that consistency right. And in some places, it hasn't quite come off. So I've got some work to do on that front. Now, this is Fourleaf's hunting and taming lodge. When he's here, he's spending most of his time up at our Arctic base, which we have called McMurdo. I'm sure many of you will get the reference. But yeah, we also have a nicely stocked fridge with a Bronto egg in there, which caused me no small amount of pain. The Brontosaurus in question did not take too kindly to me absconding with its potential offspring. I would like to say that I was heroic, but that would be an absolute lie. I got murdered by a Brontosaurus. So yeah, I mean, if we look here, this kind of lumpy section you're seeing here is the inside of the huge dinosaur gate, and it leaves a bit of a gap. Now, if I'd have followed it all the way up in a blank-facing fashion, I could have done what I've done there and just clipped through into the wall. But I didn't want to do that. And because on the next floor up, which I'll show you in just a mo, I built a balcony. Afterwards, it simply refused to clip through any further. So annoying, but not the end of the world. Again, I'll revisit all of this when I decide to perfect it, because you know, I am slightly finicky when it comes to getting things looking right. It's like this pillar here. You'll see why that exists in a moment, but I'm not completely thrilled with the fact that it's basically being held up by a storage cabinet. These are all largely, you know, well stocked. You know, there's fibre. I'm not going to run out of that. And usually it's just leftovers that I stick in there. Metal I save up, biologics I save up as well. But for the most part, this is stuff that's just left over after I've finished a particular building project. But it means that I've always got, you know, resources on hand if and when I have to build something, you know, relatively quickly. The fabricator, yeah, you see, pretty high-end stuff. I'm you know, what am I, level 68, something like that. And I made all of that experience through just building alone. Yeah, the fabricator is the must-have piece of constructive equipment about your base if you want to move into electrical bits and pieces and some high-end gear. For everything else, it's the smithy or just what you can build in your backpack. So I run triple forges because otherwise it just takes too long to get that smelting done. As you can see, we're kicking through some metal right now. Metal, one of those things that you can almost never have too much of. So as we go up to the next floor, pretty much vacant, apart from the 3 beds we have here, and that's just to offer multiple spawn points. There you go, see, look, dramatic view. Dinosaurs. That's Devastator standing over there, standing guard. We have variously had Devastator, our tame Brontosaurus, stood out front of the base, stood in the back, I see, I'm just looking at a wall here, stood out the back, out that way, but no, it doesn't matter where you put a Brontosaurus, they get in the way. I know, who'd have thunk it. There's the pillar I was referring to. See, it's not even necessary. I put it in because, and this, you know, speaks to my ethos a little, this balcony looks like it should be supported, so I've supported it. And, yeah, it's imperfect, but at the moment it will do. Let's get that door closed. Yeah, keep the heat in. Yeah, and then we move into ladders because I couldn't get ramps in here in a way that I actually liked. Now, those ladders are going to be temporary. Again, another unused floor, and this will be a common thread. But as more people join us, and we have another couple of willing candidates who have signed up to the program since last you were here, and I'll invite a few more as well. All of this will be replaced with an elevator. An elevator will be installed in this area pretty soon. There you go. See, another empty floor. The sun's come out now. It's lovely. Up once more. Yeah, and another empty floor. I thought I'd filled this in. Evidently not. I tend to knock walls out in order to gain access to the electrical cables when needed. It's not really the right way to do things. And then a really bad bit of design on my part. I've built this ramp here, which is fantastic because it gets you up onto the cliff top, which we're actually pretty blessed having chosen this. It's known as Herbivore Island because it's populated by nothing but fairly placid dinosaurs. They're quite happy for you to just get on with it, providing, of course, you don't steal their eggs. But we get metal spawns. Yes, absolutely love it. And metal, for those of you who don't play the game, is not only incredibly important, but also really flipping difficult to get hold of. Unless you've got multiple kind of metal spawns nearby, which this island has aplenty. So for my kind of building aspirations, I don't want to know what that dinosaur's up to. He seems to be having a reasonably good time. Yes, absolutely essential, given the aspirations I have for building. So yes, here's that bad bit of design I'm talking about. Right, you can go up and down here, and if you want to jump over onto the ledge, you can do. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the acrobatic approach here. I'll do the one I've got built in. Eventually, of course, I'll have the elevator come all the way up to the roof. Now, the elevator, the reason it's taking so long is because it is a phenomenally large investment. So I'm taking my time in getting to that one, and I will have to build it out at McMurdo, the ice base, because that's where a lot of those resources are going to come from. He's just having a little shimmy. Couple of watchtowers. The idea here, of course, is that this is a landing pad up on top for those who wish to park their airborne reptiles in a nice, safe, out of the way fashion. Right, so let's get back down here, and then we'll hop over to the other side. So yes, Four Leaf and I are the only ones occupying this side at the moment, and then over on the other side it's not quite as complete. These spiky dudes at the top here, they're in place to stop errant brontosauri from jumping on top of the base. They do this far more often than you would perhaps give them credit. But yeah, we've just put a few spikes up to stop them getting carried away and jumping on the base. So this is Jake's garden. Now, I built a rather large amount of glass to turn this into a greenhouse, and then someone who shall remain nameless angered a brontosaurus by stealing its egg, and the brontosaurus smashed all the glass, which was expensive. So at the moment, and this had a full working irrigation system, as you can see here, we have an irrigation pipe just sticking out. I'd actually done a reasonably good job at kind of plotting all of that in, but here we go. See, all of it needs repairing because it's all damaged. There's the view. You see, yeah, pretty good. Yeah. So the idea is that when we have combatants in the arena, they'll be able to store their dinosaurs in safety at one end or the other. Because I'll build something similar at the other end of the kind of the arena complex. Yeah, see, look at this phenomenal amount of space. This could be yours. You could come and occupy this, and if you fancy it, then leave a comment, and I'll send you an invite. Yep, here we go. Look, there's another empty floor to play with, and then we come down one more, and this is where Steve Calgar, perhaps unsurprisingly, has joined the fray, and he's also working on a kind of a militaristic approach to things. He's joined up for and he's gone a little bit bendy there. He's not here right now, but yeah, I've just set him up with a few odds and ends, and I suggested that maybe a firing range would be beneficial. Now, if I had a scope, which I don't, you'd be able to see that says "shoot me." It's all the invitation that you need. So kind of a test firing range for any new weapons that come out. I did ask if he wanted this room segmenting at all, and he said no. He liked it big. Fair enough. Yeah, because I've been spending all my engrammatic points on nothing but kind of construction paraphernalia, rather than any of the more exciting stuff. So I am somewhat, yes, I am somewhat at the mercy of my comrades to furnish me with the necessary bits and pieces. And then we got the downstairs. This is going to be the kind of the hatchery / feeding zone. Compost bins there for any dinosaurs. It's gone foggy. Oh, that's charming, that is. It's always nice when it goes foggy when I'm trying to do some kind of who would live in a fortress like this? Well, someone who doesn't want to see 3 feet in front of their face, obviously. My apologies. Anyway, we won't be deterred. Let's get out of here. I'll show you something else. Okay, so what? Yeah, as you can see, more of this spiky goings on here, and it's a heat haze too because I'm hot. All right, let's. As long as you're relatively comfortable with a little bit of partial nudity here, we'll disrobe just a touch. I wonder if this is the heat being caused by me being hot. I mean, I'm stood in the water now, and we're still getting. This is as foggy as I have seen it. Yes, everybody gets a boat who turns up, and largely your raft is an indicator of I'm in the water. I can't still be hot. Is an indicator of whereabouts. This is just ridiculous. Okay, right. Look, tell you what. I'm going to wait until this fog bank passes, and then we shall resume the tour. I'll finish off talking about boats. Yeah, everybody gets a raft of their own. Quite obviously named for themselves, and the presence of your boat indicates that's the area that you're currently operating out of. So as you can see, I'm parked here, and Steve's also parked here with Localgar. Yeah, see, yeah. Oh, the puns, all me, all the time. Where are we? It's only, 10 a.m. and it's incredibly hot. Now, if the temperature comes down, this fog will clear. I'm going to wait until that happens. Okay, we'll pick it up here because this is actually showing off something rather good about this game. If we do avoid too much staring directly at the sun. And stop doing the hokey. I was about to extol the virtues of the thing. The clouds up there in yonder sky aren't just here for decorative purposes. Look, it's actually doing stuff. And as the temperature, which has dropped from 33 down to a very respectable 18, has passed, the fog's cleared away. But it is a cloudy day. It is raining, but the sun's out. I've never noticed it do a rainbow. This is rainbow style weather. But if we spot one, we spot one. Right, so here's what I've been working on lately, in amongst everything else. I get terribly distracted by all kinds of things. So I built McMurdo Base, in the frozen north of the map, and I'll be up there next time around, I think, to show you what's going on there. And I've built a relatively extensive base up there for Four Leaf to operate out of primarily. But it does keep getting eaten by all manner of hostile monster types, and that's just not good. So we're discussing things like auto sentries and that kind of heavy ordnance. Let's stand this side of the gap. So there you go. That's the relatively unimposing front door there of the failure cave. It's fine. It's good. It's just a bit bland looking. But let me not make you completely aware. You want to take on a building of this kind of stature, you should expect to invest quite a shake of time in order to make it happen. And doing it alone is, you have to really want it. Anyway, as is the big plan for this series, we're going to be building a Colosseum. And we're going to be building it, well, pretty much here, where I'm stood right now. So recently, Steve and I have invested several hours in building this thing out, which will initially be just a bridge over to the other side of the land, because that's where I'm going to build the other kind of competitor entryway, I guess you'd describe it. The arena itself will be out in the middle here, and we'll have a dock underneath, and it'll be raised, and it'll be nice, and there'll be some seating. But this is the reason I walked all the way to the end of this bridge to nowhere. Is look at that, the base has disappeared. Now I'm pretty sure I've got my draw distance up at a if not the highest, then a pretty damn high rate. And it's not drawing in the rest of the building. Now, this is important to note for two reasons. firstly, you want to be able to see one side of the arena from the other, so that gives us kind of a max distance. And if I start walking back, you'll actually see it pop in. And secondly, the arena has to be a certain size, otherwise you won't get a Brontosaurus fight in it. There's Devastator again, looking devastating. But I've done a few measurements, and getting 3 dinosaurs length, 3 Brontos length in there is going to be challenging. So it may be that we end up limiting our contests to avoid having Brontosauri as combatants. We'll see. There we go. It's popping in now. Really? You're not popping in the rest of it? Just that much? Go on. How much have we got? Come on. There you go. Now, obviously, the pop in is undesirable, but once it's loaded in, it will stay. It will stay quite happily in memory. So I can't. So stood here, this would represent the middle point of where we could build arena size, and it's actually not. It's not too bad at all. I mean, you can build a pretty whacking great facility. If you imagine going around in a circle from this point, I'm not saying this is the point I'm going from, either oval fashion. See, it's not quite loaded in, which is why we keep seeing the doors open. That's fun. But yeah, basically the other end of the bridge to the kind of the main base there, that would be the size of the arena. I think we can. I mean, you can get probably half a dozen Brontos back to back, end to end, in there, which will look pretty spectacular. But no, there you go. So yeah, so that's what we're going to. Let's sprint it all the way down here. Actually, no, I want to show you the pain that I've been going through to do this stuff. There you go, straight into the water. Look at this. Now, it takes 2 pillars to get from the top deck to the water. So if you want to do a quick estimate of how many pillars it takes to reach the bottom of the ocean, and that's of course before you get to the fact that there's a shelf down here, and I'm not wearing scuba gear. I can't make it yet. 75, level 75 you have to be for scuba gear. There has been a number of very close to drowning episodes as part of putting this kind of formative base together, and it's not something I'm anxious to repeat, but needs must. A heck of a lot of work. Not to mention the fact that the building restrictions are such that you have to have some sort of support every 2 squares, every 2 tiles, every 2 blocks, right? So, why do you need repairing already? Is that all of them or just one? No, just that one. Okay, well, that's acceptable. So it basically means that underneath this next bit of ceiling here, because this is not flooring, this is ceiling. Just roll with it. We'll need to put another pillar. So that's a heck of a lot of pillars that need to be built. So, yeah, so, right, so what next? Now, as promised, I am going to limit the amount of episodes where it's just me smashing stuff, but we'll do some actual building next time around. See, he's not dead. He's, neither is he a fossil. Are you, man? You're all good, aren't you? How are you getting on? You have leveled up again. Well, let's give you a bit more health. There we are. Yeah. Good for you. It's just, he's striking a pose. He's staying there, lest sharks attack. Yes, okay, so upcoming episodes will include a visit to McMurdo, which will involve something of a boat trip, and I will show you a rather nifty idea I've come up with for designing the arena. So we'll complete the bridge, we'll get the arena underway, I'll show you how I'm designing it, and we'll go and visit the ice world. I bet you can't wait. Anyway, thanks very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Why not leave a like on this one? I'm going to persist with it anyway. It's a project I'm kind of anxious to follow through. largely because I enjoy it. And it's not about the combat or the... I mean, the dinosaurs are great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, dinosaurs in the game is fantastic. But that's not my reason for being. I'm here to build stuff, as you can probably tell. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch up with you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Let's find a dinosaur to look at. There you go, there's one. It's a Stegosaurus. Cheerio!
This